So students, in the last class we have discussed that how DNA replication starts, how this activation of the nucleotides occurs, and how this primer clear are added to the existing strands for replication. And today we will actually discuss how the replication, that is new DNA strands, are formed. So let us start with our topic. So in the last class we have discussed about the origin of replication. Clear, there is single origin of replication in prokaryotes, numerous origin of replication in eukaryotes. Clear, and the activation of the nucleotides, how they gets activated and becomes monophosphate to triphosphate, nucleotide monophosphate to triphosphates, and also the addition, priming, that means addition of this RNA primer, the small stretches of RNA, that is the RNA primer to the DNA strands, and this so this is the 3' region, and this is the nucleotides with the 5' end clear on this region, because we know that this will be anti-parallel. So here there will be the 5' region, and this primer is added with the 3' end, that is the third carbon is free, where a new nucleotide can get added. And here we know that since this is already the 5' end, and so if there is the 5' end is added like this, then what will happen? We can't add 5' end like this here, as because we know that DNA is anti-parallel. So we have to, how can we manage? So there, as the replication forks opens, from the base of the replication fork, which is the, if we consider the DNA strand, then it will be 3' end, and it is the 5' end of the existing strand, and from there the RNA primer is added with the 3' end complementary to the 5' end of the primer. And so the 3' end, this third carbon of the ribonucleotides, because sugar of the ribonucleotides become free, and where the new nucleotides can get incorporated. So now it is ready for forming a new strand of DNA. Now next we have to think what is needed for the DNA strand formation. For a new DNA strand formation, clear, that is actually the DNA replication, we need DNA polymerase 3. Clear, DNA polymerase 3, the enzyme which is responsible for DNA formation, new DNA strand formation, is DNA polymerase 3. Along with it, we require these nucleotide, activated nucleotide, that is triphosphates. Clear, ATP, GTP, CTP, and TTP. So all these we require, and we also require magnesium. Now, what is the function of nucleotide here? Nucleotides are supposed to form the phosphodiester bond with the former nucleotide. Clear? So in one hand it will form the phosphodiester bond with the former nucleotide, and it will also form the nitrogen base of the nucleotide, will form hydrogen bond with the nucleotide existing in the DNA strand. So you can see here, this is the nucleotide, and this is another nucleotide, and this here it will form the phosphodiester. Suppose here is the existing DNA strand, and here these two nucleotides will form the phosphodiester bond between them, and these nucleotides, this nitrogen base, will form the hydrogen bond with the respective DNA strand, existing DNA strand. So these are the two things. Clear? The two bonds, they will form simultaneously. And so what is the role of nucleotide in this reaction? Nucleotide has these activated nucleotides has two roles. One is it is acting at a substrate, as because the reaction is occurring on it only. It is forming the phosphodiester bond with the former nucleotide, and it is only forming the hydrogen bond. So reaction is occurring it only, so it is acting as a substrate. And by the release of this, by breaking these phosphate bonds and by the release of these phosphates, only one phosphate, monophosphate, will form the phosphodiester linkage here, and these two phosphates will be released, and by breaking these bonds it is providing energy for the reaction. So it has dual role. This nucleotide, activated nucleotide, has dual role during the DNA synthesis. One is it acts as a substrate, and number two is it provides the energy for to continue the process. Clear? Now how this occurs, we can see here. So we can see here, this is the primer, this is the 3' end, and this is the primer with the 5' ends. Clear? And here the 3' end, the third carbon is free, and where the DNA nucleotides has been added. So third carbon is free, and where the DNA nucleotides has been added. Clear? And so since in this way the third carbon is always there, is the free third carbon, so DNA nucleotides are added accordingly. But what happens in this strand? In this strand, this is the 5' region. Clear? And so we know that this is the so this is the 5' region. So the new DNA, the nucleotides with fifth carbon cannot complement to it, as because the DNA strands are anti-parallel, and so the DNA, the primer, has been formed from the from the base of the fork, replication fork, this 3' end. This is the 3' end where the new RNA primer has been added, and in the RNA nucleotide also the sugar, the third carbon of the sugar is free here, so accordingly the nucleotides are added upon it. So it is, the chain is running from 5' to 3' direction. So here also the chain is running from 5' to 3' direction, and here also the chain is running from 5' to 3' direction, because we know that new nucleotides will always get added to the third carbon, because it contains the reactive. It is the functional, it contains the functional group where the new nucleotide will get added. So the chain reaction will always proceed in 5' to 3' direction. Now this reaction is polymerized by DNA polymerase 3, and we know that DNA polymerase 3 can simultaneously polymerize both the strands. Clear? It can simultaneously polymerize both the strands. So both the strands will be, the DNA, it will form both the strands simultaneously. So when till this is end, this will be also ended up. Clear? And since the DNA polymerase 3 is a dimer, so it can simultaneously it can regulate the chain formation in both the strands. Now what will happen next? Clear? Next, this can continue, because here the free third carbon is free. Clear? So here a new nucleotide can attach. So as the fork opens up more, this will continue. But what will happen to this? Because here the free third carbon is here, and we know that this free third carbon is here, so but there is no DNA template strand. So as a result, it cannot proceed any further. And where is the template? Template is here. So we have to proceed here, not there. So how can it proceed here? So we can see here. So we can see here. So you see, this is the 3' to 5' strand, and on this there is a continuous strand. The strand which is produced is from 5' to 3', and it can proceed continuously as because it has the 3 end, the third carbon end free, containing the functional group where a new nucleotide can easily add. But what will happen to this strand? Clear, where it is 3' to 5', sorry, 5' to 3'. Clear. So here we know that RNA, that DNA replication can proceed from 5' to 3' only. So as this will again reopen from the base, again that this segment will be considered as the 3' to 5' segment, and from the 3' end, a new RNA primer will form, as the earlier we have seen, and that RNA primer will have the 5' end, that fifth carbon in this end, and the third carbon and that end. Clear? And as a result, this third carbon, we know that it contains the functional hydroxyl group where a new nucleotide can get added, so it will proceed like this. So as the DNA goes on opening, this strand goes forming continuously, but for here always a new primer is to be added. Clear? And which will carry on the DNA replication. So we know that simultaneous DNA replication occurs, and as a result we will find that at a particular point of time this will be the condition. Clear? So this is the continuous strand. This will form continuously, so this is called continuous strand, but here it will form disrupting. Clear? In disruptive manner, RNA primer will form, and that will form a segment. Again RNA primer will form at the base of the replication fork, where it is considered as the 3' end of the existing strand, and again a stretch of DNA will form here. Clear? Till the former RNA primer. So thus it will form in disrupted manner, so it is called discontinuous strand. Is formed in disrupted manner, so it is called discontinuous strand. And now think this, the chain is more or less completed. Then what will happen? In this strand, only this RNA primer has to be replaced. Clear? And this will be done by DNA polymerase 1. DNA polymerase 1 will replace this RNA primer, and instead it will fill it up with the appropriate deoxyribonucleotides. DNA polymerase 1 will also replace these RNA primers, but here it is not only one RNA primer, numerous RNA primers are here. So DNA polymerase 1 has to replace these RNA primers and fill it up with the deoxyribonucleotides, appropriate respective deoxyribonucleotides, and these fragments, so these small fragments, these are called, which are formed by small fragments, are called Okazaki fragments. So small fragments which are formed in the discontinuous strands are called Okazaki fragments, and these fragments will be joined by, after replacing the RNA primer, it will be joined by the enzyme called DNA ligase. So, so here only this part is to be replaced. Clear? And the continuous strand will form. This continuous strand will form. So a double helix DNA is already formed. But here the DNA polymerase has to replace numerous RNA primer. As we proceed, more RNA primers will be there. It has to replace numerous RNA primer. It has to fill the gaps with the respective deoxyribonucleotides and forming the small fragments called Okazaki fragments, which are to be joined by DNA ligase. So it will form earlier than this one. Clear? This double helix will form earlier than this one. So this is called the leading strand. Clear? So this strand is called leading strand, and as it forms later, clear, it is called lagging strand. So this strand is called lagging strand. This strand is called discontinuous strand. This is called lagging strand. And this is the continuous strand. This is called leading strand. Now a question is often asked that in which direction DNA replication proceeds. Clear? DNA replication occurs or DNA formation occurs. It will be always, so see here, it is from 5' to 3'. So here also it is from 5' to 3'. So DNA formation always occurs, in mind that DNA formation always occurs in 5' to 3' direction. So DNA formation, keep it in mind, is very important. DNA formation always occurs in 5' to 3' direction. Now next question is on which strand the leading strand is complementary. So leading strand, that is complementary to 3' to 5'. Leading strand is complementary. So leading strand will proceed from 3' to 5' direction of the existing strand. So this is the existing strand which is already having 3' to 5'. So 3' to 5' of the existing strand, clear, on which the complementary strand is the leading strand. So the 3' to 5' of the existing strand is complementary to the leading strand. And here you can see this is the lagging strand or discontinuous strand, and you can see here this is the 5' to 3'. So this strand which is existing in the existing DNA is running 5 to 3. So this lagging strand will form on the 5 to 5' on the strand which is 5' to 3' of the existing DNA. So leading strand will form complementary to 3' to 5' of the existing DNA, and lagging strand will form complementary to 5' to 3' of the DNA strand of the existing DNA. Clear? And now DNA, now it is more or less over. So if it is completed, then we can have two helix, clear, from single DNA strand, and we know that we can see here that always one of the strand is coming from the mother strand, so it is semi-conservative. And another thing is there, now suppose it has been completed, but still few error may occur. That is due to some error in the complementary form. Suppose adenine is not complemented with thymine or something else. So these errors are to be removed, because DNA is very important genetic material. If there are numerous errors, then the whole characters will change. So these errors, it is so highly specific, so these errors have to be removed, and this is done by the DNA polymerase 1. So DNA polymerase 1 not only removes the RNA, so the one of the factor of the DNA polymerase 1, it also acts as a proofreader. It reads all the DNA, all these nucleotides, or whether they are having the proper complementary bases, and if they don't have, it replaces it, it releases it and replace it with substitute it with the proper deoxyribonucleotides. So it acts also as a proofreader. Clear? And so this is about DNA replication. So DNA replication is semi-conservative, it is highly specific. clear, and forming two DNA strands from a single DNA strand. So this is about DNA replication. Okay. We know that the whole DNA replication was first done by Nirenberg and with template, and Gobind Singh Khorana without template. So this is about DNA replication. Go through it properly. Thank you, students. Sorry, we will get two helix, clear, from a single helix of DNA. So we will get two helix, clear, this is one helix and this is another helix, from a single helix of DNA, clear. So we will get two double-stranded helix from a single double-stranded helix of DNA. So these are the two double-stranded daughter helix from a single parental helix of DNA.